Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work, and Jobu's big ass hat is kind of getting in the way of blocking me. Hopefully, everybody here is having a great night. Well, about as great a night as we can have with our Cowboys basically stinking up the joint. Hang on for one quick second here, guys. I've got to get both feeds up and running here. It's going to be an interesting show here because we're going to be taking some of your calls here in a few minutes. Before we get into everything else that is America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, Terrence Williams missed practice today. I know we're talking about practice, not a game now, We're talking about practice. He ended up missing practice today for an undisclosed football something. How you doing tonight, Boomer Sooner? Vosh for president of the 80 percenters. Okay, I'm assuming that's a troll. Chaz, Jewel, how you doing? Jackie, Miss Jackie is always around. Thank you, Miss Jackie, because I couldn't make it without you, girl. Of course, we have our moderators that are here, so don't act up, and you won't be put in timeout. T-Will suspended. Did they suspend him since? Oh, daggone. They suspended him since I finished getting set up. Wow. So we now know why Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler. We now know why Bryce Butler was, give me here, hang on. Why Bryce Butler was, brought back on the roster. They knew it was coming. How we doing, Wang Hugh? You're one of those ones that definitely hate Dak Prescott. Dez will sign soon. Uh-oh. Man, all kinds of stuff has happened since the last time I got on here. Dez Bryant says he will sign soon. I'm wondering if it's going to be with the Cowboys. Seriously. This is going to be one of those crazy nights, one of those crazy shows. Here's one of the things that... Wow, so much is happening. I just don't even know where to go at this moment. But Jerry Jones, I have to admit now, the Vimeo chat is disabled. Oh, let me hit that on. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there with Terrence Williams. Jerry Jones, forgive me here while I get this going, has lost his freaking mind. Why are we not going here? We've heard him say things before like, I want me some glory holes. You know? Okay, we just kind of brush that aside. You know, okay, that's just Jerry. You know, we understand the term for, boy, my Vimeo is just acting up tonight. We understand what he was meaning to say about that, because in the oil industry, you have, you know, when you have a great oil well, it's a glory hole. It's blowing all kinds of oil, as opposed to the sex club where you got the hole in the wall. That's a glory hole. We've heard him say things like Brandon Wheaton throws a beautiful pass, you know. I don't know if E2 Blue's calling. I don't believe he is. Vosh for president. Now, is that really you, Vosh? Or is this one of the trolls? That's what acquiring minds want to know. I don't know why. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I think we got too much going on here. My Vimeo chat is just not coming up.
If it's not a cartoon picture, that's not Vosh.
Well, it's Vosh of the 80%.
That's not him.
So he wants to know if we're calling, if E2 Blue is calling in tonight. So it's kind of like, is this a new Vosh? Because it could be, because he does make fun of the 80%.
Yeah, but if it's not a cartoon picture of Vosh, then it's not the real Vosh.
Okay.
Because his picture of himself is more of a cartoonish picture.
All right, hang on one second, guys, while I get this chat up here. For Vimeo. Okay, I see it. See me there. Live settings. Let's get the chat up on here. All right. Enable chat for Vimeo. Yay, there we go. Okay. For some reason, though, it's not coming up on the other screen. What's up, D.D. Taylor? How are you doing tonight? Okay, so Jerry Jones has completely lost his freaking mind because he was talking about the Rams last night, and I don't know if you guys watched the game. It's clear that the Rams are playing football on a totally different level than everybody else. Let's be honest, because they got some great players. Jared Goff, as Troy Aikman put it last night, his rookie year literally looked like doo-doo, hot garbage. He stunk. And anybody who says different is a damn liar. He was awful. And I mean he was awful. I don't understand why that set over there is not... I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this set up. He was not anything close to an NFL quarterback last year. And when you look at what Scott McVay ended up doing with him, taking him literally to a whole nother level, it's amazing. And now you look at him as right now playing pretty well. He's playing better than Tom Brady. He's got great talent on there. You look at that team, and right now you say that is about the most complete team. If you are right now Minnesota, you're kind of questioning things because this is supposed to be a great season. You got one victory and a tie, and you've lost one in your division, well, tied in your division with Green Bay, and you're looking up at the Bears. So you got to be worried if you're those guys. And as you were listening to Troy Aikman talking about the quarterback, and that's where I started thinking about, yeah, this is the situation we have with Dak Prescott. I'm not saying that Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan aren't great coaches. What I'm saying is thus far, they don't seem to be able to take players to another level. You see what happened with Jared Goff, looking like a bust as a rookie. Second year, young guy comes in, changes the system, figures it out, gets good players around him, and all of a sudden he looks great. And when I watched that offense last night, that's kind of what I envisioned that this offense would be without Dez Bryant, because I thought, maybe I was wrong, that Dez Bryant was part of the problem. We saw Dez with all the drops on the 50-50 balls and things like that. You see his meltdown on the sidelines in Seattle where, you could definitely look and say, he contributed to that loss. He wasn't part of the victory there. And I thought that with these receivers, that with the speed and the youth of these guys, with Dak being the guy that was good at finding the open guy, that this would work. And if you watched the two offenses last night, you saw a lot of screens. You saw a lot of short passes. You saw a lot of crossing routes that turned into big plays. And that's what this offense is supposed to do. But unfortunately, I don't think that these guys are the guys to go ahead and elevate them to that level. Now, what's crazy is Jerry Jones thinks otherwise. Hold on.
How you could take, this is a example, I hope, and I'm not, I'm smart, at how you could take the statements I just made and develop that kind of conjecture as to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. You asked me about the Rams, how they played Thursday night. You asked me for when I see the Rams, do I see the Cowboys doing something? And you're going to take that all the way to 35 points a game, and that's what we're going to read about tomorrow. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the whole point I'm saying is I can see similarities. I can see talent similarities. I can see the player similarities with a lot of their offense.
Okay, the reason I said that is because I don't see it at all, and I don't know how much Cowboy fans see a similarity between the Rams and the...
You're doing radio. That's why you're doing radio, and they're doing the coaching.
Okay.
My point is, you're absolutely right. I'm frustrated with that question because you're putting it in my mouth, and I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that if you match up us against the Rams, which happened to have played last night, then I can show you some similarities, and I can answer your questions as to why it didn't even come out of my mouth. That if you do not execute, if you drop the ball, if you fumble the ball, we all know those things can dramatically change what the teams, if they were exactly alike, are doing in the third quarter. Having said that, now, I'm not saying that our team should be doing 35 points a game, 30 points a game, or anything. I'm just saying that I like the Rams. Think, oh, but for someday we might have that kind of team. I don't see it anymore.
Okay, so that's where we are with Jerry right now. Jerry Jones is getting a little testy, but if he truly thinks, and I'm sorry, Jerry, I love you. I love my Cowboys. But if you think that we're anywhere close to where the Rams are, then you are really mistaken, because we got a long ways to go. Dak's got to develop. We got to get better play calling, without a doubt. We got to get better blocking. I think Travis Frederick, the sound is still skipping. Okay, I may be a little too loud. Let's see if we got that straightened out. Let me know if that's better. I swear, I just did a sound test before we came on, and it was great. Okay, hopefully that took care of the skipping part, guys. Let me know if it didn't. I know it was an echo there from the original broadcast. All right, wait, one more thing. Okay, hopefully that took care of it. All right, so if you guys want to start trying to call in now, the only thing is, what usually happens is it ends up being a lot of calls at the same time, and when we do get a lot of calls at the same time, it just will not actually ring. Okay, we're good now. Okay, glad I got that out of the way. Apologize. You know I suck, guys, when it comes to taking care of all this stuff. So the computer was skipping. That's weird. Okay. Sounds good now. Okay. Well, sometimes here's the thing. If I get excited, or if you have the sound volume too high, what'll happen is it'll trip. Now, that was actually a recording that was offline. You can probably turn that down just a little bit.
From to accept.
Okay, where the heck is that coming from? I'm sorry, guys. I've got this on. That's crazy. Okay, hold on.
To accept. And a voice. To send a
Okay. Sorry, I got something that's kind of acting funky here on me.
You got me here.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, Sam. How are you doing?
I was doing better because I did a test before we ran through here, and for some reason it is not going through. I should actually be hearing you through the microphone system, but I'm not. But how are you doing? What can we do for you tonight?
I'm a big fan, and I'm from Southern California. Last night, I felt really, I was jealous, man. I was really jealous of the offense to be able to, especially with the coaching. The coaching, as far as the head coach and the quarterback being on sync like that.
Right.
I wish our team could do that. I wish our team could do that on offense.
Well, unfortunately, I really wish I had the answers with that with our Cowboys, but it's just been crazy that we just can't seem to get anything going. It's the offensive line's not blocking well. You've got the defense playing great. Wide receivers aren't getting open. Dak's not hitting people, and it's collectively everything is falling apart. Now, the one thing I will say is we never seem to have much luck in Seattle. And I believe we've only won once there since Central League has been open. So hopefully this is just kind of a blip that maybe this week will be a little bit better. Maybe with some time the offense starts to kind of gel. You see Zeke Elliott's beginning to pick up the running. I still don't have a lot of faith in Jason Garrett and stuff. And with the season going the way it's going, there's nobody really running away with everything except maybe the Rams.
True. Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
What is your odds on eventually seeing Tony Romo as the offensive coordinator?
I don't ever see him leaving the booth to become an offensive coordinator. He would be taking a major pay cut to become an offensive coordinator, and there's no job security. So when you look at it from that standpoint, I wouldn't do it. I got a cushy job that I can just sit in the booth. Everybody loves me without all of the headache. All right, thank you very much for the call.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, hang on here for a second, guys. Let me check something out real quick here. Okay, hopefully that took care of the problem here. All right, so let me get the next call in here. Hopefully that took care of our problem. That did it. Okay. Connecticut Cowboys, how you doing, man?
Mr.
And I could be better if we ended up winning the game. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, if you got the show on, you got to turn the show down. Okay, so what you got for me tonight?
This offensive line is looking the same as it should, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
Defense, they're doing great. I'm hoping, one of these days we can get some sort of special teams help anywhere.
Uh-huh.
But I personally, what can Dak do? Or is it really Dak's fault that Linehan and Garrett are literally like skipping a game going back to their old ways?
Oh, they definitely, in my mind, they definitely are, because you look at the fact that we're only running Zeke Elliott 16 times a game, and Jason Garrett always falls back on the pass, and it seems like we're still looking at it like Tony Romo is still here. Unfortunately, I don't know that that's ever going to change. I mean, we've been here with Jason Garrett being there for 10 years as offensive coordinator and head coach. But looking at what Dak has done well, if you look at actually when we've gone through and hurry-up offense, now maybe some of that's the defenses are on prevent and everything else because they've got a big lead, but he looks more comfortable when he's actually in no huddle. And it may be that they hopefully start trying to do more and more of that. I think the other problem.
Then why can't we have some sort of like Jim Kelly, K-gun, hurry up offense, kind of like the Bills used to do once upon a time? Why can't we get to that point?
Now you're talking about being innovators, okay? And that's something that Jason Garrett doesn't. It's one of those things that I always hear him say, it's not what we do. Well, when you always say what we do, what has we done as far as win anything?
We've done nothing.
And see, that's the difference of having, a Jeff Fisher in with the Rams, a coach that's been around forever and everything else, and saying this is the way we do things. Well, you know what? Football is constantly evolving and changing. 2 years ago, 24% of the time we did play action, and we were fourth most in the NFL. Right now, that puts us around 14th. It
Mark, I got one last
changes.
question.
Yeah, what's the other question you got for me?
My last question is this. Is Jerry going to fire Garrett like he did with Wade Phillips when he knew he had the talent on the team? Back in, I think it was like 2010, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah,
in 2010, he fired Garrett about 9 games in.
I don't think for whatever reason, I don't think he'll do that because he just do that. All right, let me grab this other call.
To accept, press 1. Press 2.
I'm not understanding where this ringing is coming from because it's like horrible. Hello, Mark Holmes here.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, not too bad. Having a little problem here with the phone system.
Yeah.
The ringer is about as loud as can be, but go on. What's your name? Where are you
Not
calling
much,
from?
man. I'm just saying that, I just don't like the coaching. I think for now, Jason Garrett should be calling the plays instead of Scott Linehan.
Well, that's kind of still the blind leading the blind because if you remember,
Yeah.
at this point, I'm ready to try anything. I don't believe in Scott Linehan whatsoever. He ran the Rams into the ground. He was there with the Detroit Lions and didn't bust a grape. He was there with Minnesota. Jason Garrett, you'll remember, led us to 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and they took the play calling away from him as the last step before he was about to be fired. And then we ended up having the 12-4 season and so on, and then he was coach of the year.
Gotcha.
So when you look at it from that standpoint, I don't think that they're going to take the play call, or if they take the play calling and give it to him, I'm not sure it's going to be that much better.
Yeah, but I mean, what do we have a choice right now? There's really no coaches out there to make a change. So, I mean, it's better than nothing right now, unfortunately.
I think change. Here's the thing that I wonder because I look at the body language from Dak. I put this picture of Dak from the game sitting next to Kellen Moore, and it just literally looked like, just get the F away from me. There was, Kellen Moore is kind of talking a little bit, and Dak is just kind of sitting there, eyes straight ahead. I can't honestly believe that he feels comfortable with the situation. The fact that you've got Scott Linehan relaying stuff to Kellen Moore to relay it to Dak Prescott is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. It's like, he doesn't know what he's doing. I agree. And then I think Travis Frederick's a big loss for not getting that running game going, unfortunately.
Well, because remember, he also made all the play calls as well.
Yeah, so I think, personally, Sunday, I think you're going to see the running game get going because the Lions' rush defense is not that good. So definitely Zeke will be in, I think, this Sunday, no doubt, man. Yeah.
Well, that's what you would think we would be doing. But here's the thing. You know how our Cowboys, we overthink things. They're second, I believe, in stopping the run. We're got Zeke Elliott leaving the NFL and rushing, but of course we'll go out trying to pass the ball. That's just kind of the stuff that we get with Jason Garrett and crew.
Sunday you got to run the ball in the Lions this week, definitely, no doubt. Like I said, and plus two, Dak's got to take more shots down the field, and it's like I think the teams know what we're doing, like the run, but then we have no threat on weapons on the side. So a lot of the defenses are just pulling the areas and not even respecting our passing game downfield.
Yeah, it's not good. So hopefully, it's a week-to-week league. You look at New England right now. New England looks like garbage. I don't think they'll stay like that all season. You look at 1 week where
another question I want to ask you. Do you think the NFC is pretty weak or what?
The NFC, I don't think the NFC is as good as everybody thought it was going to be because you start looking at Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers literally is on one leg. How long is he going to be able to play the way he is? They only have one victory as it is, losing to Washington Redskins. You look now at Minnesota. Now they've got 2 losses and a half of a loss. Out there. You see the Rams being really, really good, but when you thought about like New Orleans defense, their offense is great. Their defense is nowhere near where it was. Carolina is all Cam, great defense. They're pretty good. I'm not sold on Atlanta. Atlanta is in the basement over there. I know Tampa Bay has won some games, but do you really think Tampa Bay is going to be there? No, and the Eagles are beat up.
Back down to earth. Tampa Bay is coming back down to earth right now.
Yeah. So when you look at the NFC, there's still, even though we're not looking real good right now, there's time to turn it around.
Right, exactly.
DT, Jerry Jones was right. Okay. Well, you know what? I hope Jerry Jones. I appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I hope Jerry Jones was right, and that it does become the Rams' offense. Now, I will say this much: we're having a little bit of problems with the phone, so let me actually get off of the phones here for a minute. And see if we can get this squared away. Jerry Jones, I pray that he is right. I pray that the team gets the thing together. I pray that what Jason Garrett says we're doing, and we don't need to make a whole lot of changes, that they go out this week and all of a sudden score 30 points. I'm hoping, and try one more time.
To accept.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Oops, your caller just hung up. Press 2 to call.
Hey, Edwin.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Press 2 to call.
I must have lost you again. Edwin? Okay. All right. We're going to cancel the phone calls because I've got to do some more work on that. I apologize, guys, but for whatever reason, it's giving me an echo and it's getting this loud-ass call on it. But I'll try and make one call real quick because that's actually somebody I did want to talk to. It sucks being technology challenged, guys.
Hello?
Hey, Edwin, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Mark, how are you doing?
Broke, busted, and thoroughly disgusted, man, with my Dallas Cowboys. How about you?
Well, I got to tell you, I love your show. I'm sorry that you're going through some small difficulties, but 99% of the time, the show is fantastic. Listen,
I appreciate that.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question. We all know that the offensive line is Travis Frederick.
Yeah.
Okay? And Looney is supposed to be a quality backup. Why isn't he doing a better job? And B, if he can't handle the job, is it possible that we can somehow move another guy over to kind of show us the line? Maybe move Looney somewhere else.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, centers are not like any other offensive line position out there because literally you're making the calls. With the Cowboys offense, the center is making all the calls. You know, when you see Dak Prescott go up there and point at that guy, he's basically setting up the middle and the protection, and it's then up to the center to go ahead and call all that out so everybody knows where they're going. So you got to do that. You got to have the snap count and make sure that the quarterback gets the ball, as well as be ready to hike it and be able to make a play. And that is not an easy thing at all to do. And when you talk about going from a guy who never missed a snap, who was an all-pro every single year, there are very few people you're going to find, at least on the street, that are going to be able to just plug in and go to that position. I won't say that he's done poorly, but you're just talking about a big drop-off. And at this point, trying to switch somebody else who hasn't been playing that center position is going to be difficult to go. So hopefully he'll get better as time goes on with the season. Maybe we end up getting him back. But it's just not there yet. But he's not the only problem on the offense. Clearly, Tyron Smith is not the same guy. La'el Collins, you would have thought would have been better than where he is. And even Zach Martin.
He's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah, well, he's healthy, but, you know, once you have a bad back, I mean, I get up and go to work every day, but in the morning I wake up, it takes me a few minutes to get going, and you're not as good as you were. You know, it's one of those things that Father Time is undefeated, and the older you get and the more of these little chronic injuries, they start building up. That's one of the reasons why I was happy that the Cowboys are such a young team, that you start having less and less of these issues. All right, Edwin. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, the last thing I want to say is just to everyone out there, it's true, Mark was a Cowboys fan pretty much out of the crib. So respect him too. Have a great night.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, that's actually my cousin. He lives up in Minnesota. We saw him during the Super Bowl and stuff, but he definitely knows that we have been dead on Dallas Cowboy fans forever. But see, here's the thing, and it's Joe. You got to look at the totality of the offensive line. Okay, right now, the Pro Football Focus has us rated as 11th, which is average. And people will say, yeah, well, you know, Dak Prescott's got the third most time to throw. That may be true, but you take a look at what the Rams had to work with last night. You saw those playmakers, those guys that were getting open. There's a big difference. I don't think there's trust there yet with Dak and the receivers to go ahead and try and chance these, you know, plays that would be throwing somebody open. And by throwing somebody open, it means throwing to a guy who's covered in a spot where only he can get it. One, Dak still is young. This is only his third season. 2, he's got accuracy issues and mechanic issues that aren't being corrected by this coaching staff. And 3, he's not sure these guys are going to hold on to it. We've seen Michael Gallup fumble it last week and it ended up being, bubble it, and then you see Earl Thomas get it, which ignites the crowd in Seattle, and then all of a sudden the onslaught is on. So you look at that. You look at Blake Jarwin. He drops a couple of them, boom, that turn into picks. So there's not the comfort there with any of these guys. Let's be honest here. We don't have great talent with wide receivers. I was completely wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. I thought that, you see Alan Hearns out there. Okay, yeah, he's pretty good. He's fast. Maybe speed will kill. You look at Austin. And Austin, I don't think they're using enough. But the other thing I'll put in this that I believe is a problem is the fact that we don't have 3 guys that you play on a regular. We keep throwing player after player after player wide receiver. There is no cohesiveness with Dak Prescott and these receivers because it's always somebody different. And if you work a job and you work with the same guy all the time, you know what he's good at and what he's not good at. And you can make up for that. But we've thrown all of these new guys in here. And we're about to throw Bryce Butler now in here as well. So now you've got all these new parts. You didn't practice in preseason, which to me is still the dumbest thing in coaching that I've ever seen. And we expect them to be able to come out week 1 and perform. Now here's the thing. I don't care if you are on the side of Dak Prescott or the side that Dak is a bum. Understand this much, guys. Let me get a little closer here. Understand this. We all think all you got to do is draft a quarterback. We'll just package up some picks. We'll move up. We'll take a franchise quarterback. You might get a Carson Wentz, but you might get a Paxton Lynch. You might get a Jamarcus Russell. You might get a straight up bum. Take a look at the Washington Redskins since their last Super Bowl, which was longer than ours. They have been trying to get a quarterback ever since. Year after year. They've gone through, I think now, 21 quarterbacks since 1991. 21 quarterbacks. They've tried drafting guys high. They've tried getting Donovan McNabbs. They've traded up to get an RG3. And yet, they still don't have one. And yes, they have one at the moment, but he's old. That's short-lived. Understand, teams like Denver, they're still looking for a quarterback. The Cardinals, they paid $20 million for Sam Bradford, a veteran, and he's on the bench. San Francisco 49ers spent $100 million for Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's got a torn ACL. Quarterbacks do not grow on trees. So if there's any chance that Dak can become a productive quarterback, and right now he's not being that productive, I'll admit it. I'm sad to say that because I believe in the guy. I believe he has the tools, but, sometimes coaches fuck up players. Take a Steve Young, who was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who gave him away for a song. Goes to San Francisco and becomes a Hall of Famer. That's coaching. Jared Goff looked like a bust. Gets a coach, and guess what? He's an all-pro now. So understand, you need somebody who's going to work with him who knows more than Kellen Moore. You need somebody that comes up with an offense that says, okay, Dak Prescott is better out of the pocket. We can't have him on a 5- and 7-step drop back pass waiting for these guys to get open and dodging tackles. What are the skill sets that he has right now that we can do something with to get some positive yards? We heard about doing run-pass options. How much of that have you seen? You got the best running back in football, who with only averaging 16 carries a game is leading the NFL. Maybe you bump that up to, say, 20 to 25 carries and start trying to get that going and start using more play action passing. But see, I don't see that stuff with this offense. It seems like we're still stuck on the same offense we had with Tony Romo here. And Dak is not Tony Romo. They have totally different skill sets. And it would be great. Listen, everybody, I would love to have Tony Romo as an offensive coach. But guess what? How much do you think that pays in comparison to CBS? Not a lot. Tony Romo would have to take a pay cut to do that. And there's no job security in that whatsoever. It's long hours. It's all year round. Right now, he's playing golf. Right now. Between his regular job. He couldn't do that during the regular season. His body is in great shape right now. He's not having to leave body parts on the field. He's not having to deal with the everyday grind of having to watch film, coach these guys, and get cussed out because the team sucks. I wouldn't trade that for it. Well, and you know what, Quester 6, you're right. Tony Romo was taught by Bill Parcells and Sean Payton. And again, Jason Garrett was lucky enough to inherit him. But since that time, you have not seen any quarterback, and some people took offense when I said that, nobody has gotten better underneath Jason Garrett. And they said, oh, John Kitna was a good quarterback. John Kitna came here with the tools that he had. John Kitna did not learn jack crap from this team. So that's where we are. Shout out to Maribira, D. Taylor, and Tim Shipman over on Vimeo. Appreciate everybody coming in. And Cold Milk 72, Quest for 6, Kennedy, Justin Quarles, thanks for joining in. Streambot X76. I'm kind of amazed tonight that it's kind of quiet in here from the trolls. Have they finally just given up on the season and they're done? What I think about Van Der Esch? Well, I got to be honest. When we first drafted Van Der Esch, me and Vosh were there at the draft, and we were both like, what the hell? Because there were all kinds of players that were still on the draft board. And you saw Cowboy fans just like, well, I'm done. I can go home now.
Take the New York City Giants for that one.
But in retrospect, he's played pretty good. I think 21 tackles already, 3 games in. He didn't really play that much the first game. And with Sean Lee having the habitual hamstring issues, we don't know how much longer Sean Lee has. You look at Van Der Esch and say, okay, he can kind of step in and take up the slack. Now, Sean Lee did say his hamstrings are feeling a whole lot better, and he thinks he may play next week. I'm of the thought that if you're not sure that they're 100%, take another week off, because we need you for the long haul, hopefully, and let Van Der Esch get some more time and stuff. We actually, for once, have quite a bit of talent as far as linebackers go. The defense I'm not so worried about, although you heard that Tyler Lockett was saying that Seattle knew our defensive calls. And that's one of those reasons why I'm kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just take this game and I'm just going to forget about it. Because the more I think about it, the more I think about how difficult it would be to win there to begin with. Seattle is a mother to play at. And Seattle had everything on the line to play for. Literally. Pride. Couldn't go 0-3 because they're out of the playoff chase. You got your old coach over there. You got a player who wants to leave town. So you wanted to show the world, and of course it was a prime game. You want to show the world that we're not a bunch of punks. We're going to kick our old coaches behind, because literally that was a war between Chris Richard and Pete Carroll. And it was a war over their child, Earl Thomas. And Seattle had the home field advantage. I'm frustrated. Is it that many? Oh my God. 8,279 days since our last Super Bowl? Wow. That's almost as long as we were in Vietnam. Or the 10,000 day war. Wow. And Justin, that's why I'm kind of saying, yeah, when you think about it, if you honestly think about it, you didn't have that much chance really in Seattle. We've had only one victory there. So maybe let's just give them a pass on this one. Now, we go home. We play the Lions, who are feeling better about themselves because they beat the Patriots, but I think the Patriots are imploding. I think the Patriots' time may be finally up. Let's see what we do this week at home. And if by week 8 we are still playing like this, believe me, I'll be the first one to say, tear this mother up. Some of the things I've been seeing from people, comments-wise, are we need to just tank the whole season. Let's tank, get a high draft pick, draft a quarterback, get rid of Jason Garrett, and start all over. Still a little early for that kind of talk. And I'll be honest with you, the reason why some people hate me now, and actually I think I'm going to end up having a debate with them, but Cowboys legend, if you remember, we went through a period like this last year. Zeke Elliott was going to be suspended. The Cowboys were this putrid on offense. We had back-to-back games where we lost at home, scoring 30 points or more. And I was at the point where I was sitting there saying that in my mind. I was like, you know, I hate the Washington Redskins, but maybe if the season keeps going downhill, we get a high draft pick, maybe things are finally bad enough that we start over and get rid of Jason Garrett, get a softer schedule, and maybe then we can start rebuilding and making a run now. And I got more flack. You're a bandwagon fan. You're not a real Dallas Cowboy fan. You suck. And I'm like, no, hold on. I understand that what it's about is winning Super Bowls. Nobody, regardless of the Eagles who think that they're going to win Super Bowls every year from here on out, it's hell to win a Super Bowl. You got to have everything fall in place. You got to have the players. You got to have the coaching. You got to have some luck. You have to have the schedule go your way. And I looked at last year's team and said, that ain't it. And I don't think that Jason Garrett is ever going to be the guy that gets us there, regardless of what Jerry Jones believes. And Eric, you know, I keep saying that. And, you know, it's funny because no matter what you say, people will say, you're just making excuses for Dak. Okay. Tony Romo would have done so much better. Okay. 2014 was Tony Romo's best year. Without a doubt, we had the best offensive line in football. You had a young Des Bryant that wasn't breaking down. You had the rushing champion of the year. Thus far, how many of those things do we have right now? Honestly. I know Dak is not Tony Romo. I'll give you that. But right now, Zeke isn't anything like DeMarco Murray was last year at this moment. The offensive line is not the same offensive line. And if you honestly believe that, then you're crazy. You don't have the tight end. You had a younger Jason Witten there who, tight end is pretty important. Tight end is really important. Why am I so closed-minded? Closed-minded about what? What is it that I'm closed-minded about? Is it that our quarterback? Okay. All right. Let's get rid of Dak. Go. Bye. Bye, Dak. Dak, you're not playing this Sunday. Kellen Moore, who are you playing? Cooper Rush? Mike White? Do you honestly think they're going to do better with the offense right now? Do you really? At this point, just to shut you guys up, I would love for them to go ahead. Just do that. Yeah, let's bench Dak. Let's see what somebody else does with this offense. Let's just see, because that's what you guys want. Ultimately, it's like you don't want him to see. I'm not saying that he's doing everything. He's not. But nobody is. Golden Tate is out this week. If we lose, we're in trouble. White is boss. You're right. The coaches still will be conservative. Yeah. The calls at the line would help some, but you still have to have horses in the race that can run the race. Your receivers aren't getting open, people, and they're not catching the damn ball. Your tight ends got nothing. I don't know why they're not playing Rico. Your offensive line is not blocking worth crap in comparison to what they've done in the past. Now, that's not to saying that we can't get it together. I keep trying to say, and I'm hoping and praying. God, am I hoping it? Please, football gods, let me be right about one thing. That you really don't know what team you have until about October. After about the first 4 games, because you have teams that come out and look like they are world beaters. They start out 4-0, and then for some crazy reason they fall in their freaking face and don't make playoffs. Teams that you thought were garbage turn around and start playing well as the season goes on. If there's anything, and here's why I'm hopeful of this. One, offense can't play any worse than it is. Offense can't get worse. Defense isn't playing pretty damn good. If the defense can just do one thing, it would be night and day difference. If they can just get a few turnovers to help out the offense. That's it. That's it. Because last week we had 3 turnovers. Generally speaking, when you're on the road and you turn over the ball more than the other team, you're not going to win. And if you look at that game, those 3 turnovers made a major difference in the game. Second, I think with some time and playing together, the offense will start giving some rhythm. These first 3-4 games are literally preseason for this team. Dak had 4 series in all of preseason with a completely new cast of receivers, tight ends, wide receivers, the whole rigmarole. Yes, Jobu is on the toilet just like the Cowboys. So, given some time, and now we see that Zeke Elliott is getting his legs underneath of him, I still believe this is a playoff team. Now, at the end of the season, if we're not, be the first. You guys be the first ones to tell me I'm an idiot. But I still believe in this team. I'm not ready to go ahead and take a dump like Jobu is here. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm delusional. But I believe that this team with the defense, something we have not had for a long time, I believe that's going to help us. Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, you're right. Okay, there is a different. You make a great point about a lot of teams didn't play their starters. But here's the thing. Everybody that Dak Prescott is throwing to, he's not throwing to Terrence Williams. If you said he's suspended, I didn't see that. But if he's suspended and gone, they haven't been throwing to him because he's been basically only in on running plays. Cole Beasley is the only other receiver that he's had on the team. You got a new tight end. You got new wide receivers that you're throwing around in here. Guys, Marcus. Oh, see, that's where Andre Ricks. You know what? You can go pound sand. I'm not blaming the defense. I am saying the defense is what's keeping us in games. I said if the defense could get some takeaways, that would help out your offense. So how is that saying I'm blaming the defense? See, that's the kind of crap that really just kind of pisses me off, because now you're going to go around and say, oh, Mark said the defense is the reason why we're losing. I did not say that. I said if the defense gets one thing, more turnovers, it will help your offense. Because here's the thing. When you get a turnover, when you see what happened when Michael Gallup let the ball go through his hands, Earl Thomas gets it, goes over there, takes the bow in front of our bench, you know that damn crowd got excited in there and ended up making it to the point where you can't hear jack crap. That changes the momentum of a game. Period. Because now all of a sudden, your offense is out there, their defense, oh crap, we're on the field. And that's the opportunity to make a big play. That's the difference between winning and losing. That is the difference of getting a break and all of a sudden looking like, you're a great team. That's something we have not had yet today, or to date. So if you want to say I'm blaming the defense, man, just get the hell out of here. I mean, that's just stupid. The defense is out there busting their ass every week, and they're actually doing the job. The only thing I ask is that they get the damn ball. Give it to the offense with a short field. Help those guys out for once. And see, that's the kind of stuff that drives me crazy because, like you said, I have not absolved Dak Prescott at all. Dak has thrown some stuff in the ground. He missed those wide open shots to Rico Gathers and things like that. I get that. But no quarterback gets every single pass dead on. Everything else is always, you point out, this just isn't quite as good. It's a fact. Oh, no, it's just your quarterback sucks. And guess what? You guys said the same stuff about Tony Romo. Tony Romo, who now you're all praising, people were killing him. Can't win with Tony Romo. Okay, so we had a top 10 quarterback with this coaching staff, with a great offensive line, a great running back. And what do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? Please tell me. Because I say our offensive line is not as good. And you guys say, oh, no, Dak just sucks. I say we had all those pieces. Oh, but we didn't have a defense for Tony Romo. So you guys make excuses for Tony Romo. Oh, well, we had Jason Garrett was the coach and we sucked, so that's why Tony Romo doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. And that's probably true. So if it was true with Tony Romo, who was, as you guys put it, was the king of the crop, should be in the Hall of Fame, should be in the Ring of Honor and everything else. If we couldn't win with him and you blame the coach, why is it can't be that Dak Prescott has the same cover because these guys are idiots? If I in my living room can tell you what the damn play is going to be, you don't think the defensive coordinators on the other team know? If you got a running back that's averaging 5.7 yards a carry, 7.7 in that game, and you only run them 16 times, any jackass out there knows you need to run the ball more. Get something going on the ground. Even the Seattle Seahawks, who only averaged 2.6 yards a carry in that game, understood that my quarterback is getting their ass handed to him. The best thing we can do is to keep running the football, to keep him upright and go play action. And wait till something breaks. And that thing that braked was some turnovers. They got a couple of breaks, and that was the difference in the game. And if you do not think that Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, if you guys honestly think they're great people, then we just don't need to have a conversation. Seriously. We just don't need to have a conversation. And I went into the season saying, you know what, we'll deal with Jason Garrett at the end of the season. He's our coach, whether we like it, one way or the other. He's the best we got. I hope that he can get this stuff together. I pray he can get this stuff together because I am sick and tired of seeing now the Eagles with the Super Bowl ring, seeing the freaking Giants get 2 more rings. Hell, at this point, the Washington Redskins might get a damn ring if we keep Jason Garrett long enough. We're stuck on stupid. Don't worry about my blood pressure, man. I actually, believe it or not, have a low blood pressure. I'm usually about 118 over 82. I don't take meds. I'm good to go. But sometimes, it takes a lot for me to get there. It takes me a lot to get there. And, and now I got all these people, Tony Romo, we need to go ahead and get rid of Dak and bring Tony Romo back. Yeah, Tony Romo's healthy today. But how many hits do you think it's going to take before he leaves a bone on the field? You trade Nick Foles. That's the guy. I don't want no Nick Foles. Man, screw that for a second and third. Man, you done lost your damn mind. No personal attacks. You were putting words in my mouth. Okay, I missed that one. Must be a Democrat thing. Get out if you disagree. I'm not. No. I'm telling you. No. Here's what I'm going off. Not because believe me, people come at me all the time. But when somebody makes up a lie and says I said something, I'm going to come after you and correct the record. When you say that I'm blaming the defense, then you are a damn liar, flat out. How can you blame the defense? I said the defense, if they can get some turnovers, will help the offense. How is that blaming the defense for us not winning? How is that? So is that the real Vosh now? Because we had Vosh president of the 80%. Now I got Vosh and Lombardi. Don't diss Romo. I'm not dissing Romo. I'm trying to point out. Oh, my God. You guys getting it twisted tonight. You know who I'm blaming? The coaching staff. The coaching staff. Yes, Romo was great, but he, like everybody else, had some bad games. Believe it or not, Dak Prescott's one playoff game had more touchdown passes than Tony Romo ever did in any of his. Fact. The fact that Dak Prescott threw for 300 yards, something Tony Romo never did in a playoff game. Fact. Okay? I'm not saying that Dak's a better quarterback, but you guys seem to have, it's kind of like when you grew up in your hometown, it was the greatest thing in the world. What you don't remember is the drive-by shootings, or you don't remember that there was a factory over there that was giving cancer to everybody and stuff. All you remember are the good things. You don't remember the bad things. You don't remember the fumble snap in Seattle in the playoffs. You don't remember the 3 turnovers against the Washington Redskins in that 8-8, 8-8, 8-8 seasons. You don't remember the Tony Ono picks. But those are things that happen to every single quarterback. Every quarterback makes some plays that they wish they could do over. It's a fact. Not every player has a perfect game every week. I will say the Rams are playing great right now, but you may have to worry about them peaking too soon. That's one of those things that do happen. Team will start out great. Jackie's going tonight. Good night, Jackie. Thank you for being in and taking care of business in here, blocking those trolls. That could be one of those cases where I've lost it, Mark. Well, like I said, the 80% done got to me now, man. Now they're making shit up on me. So that's just the way it is. Difference is Romo had to shoulder the team, and we aren't asking Dak to do that. We just want him to throw some TDs and play decent. I agree with you, Andre. I want him to play decent too. Believe me. But when Tony Romo was playing, his offensive line was a little bit better than this. His wide receivers were a little bit better than this, and he had Jason Witten. That's not the real Vosh right there. You don't respect me or the Cowboys or Dak anymore. Okay. Since when did you start respecting me to begin with? Yeah, that is and Vosh for president, you're a fake too. Vosh will be happy because he feels like that, man, people making fake fake profiles of him that, he's going someplace. And I noticed that today when I actually went through looking up Mark Holmes's. There's a lot of Mark Holmeses out there with my picture. Unless I have a whole lot of brothers that I didn't know about, there's a lot of fake profiles of me. He had an old Dez, though, Andre. Dez that couldn't stay healthy and Dez that is having brain farts. Oh, well, Jackie Kennedy he's been a Dak hater forever. So anything he says now, yeah, Dak is owning up to it. Dak's saying he's got to play better and all that. He knows he's got to play better. Believe me, if he doesn't start playing better, I fear for his life in Dallas because I think the natives are getting restless. I can't argue with that RMF that the Jones have been controlling influence way too much. Yeah. And they really have screwed some things up. Well, IP Freely, he did hit Dez in the face mask with the football, and he still dropped it. That wasn't exactly something he made up. That was actually a true statement. Kenny, you're a liar there, buddy. I never said that Dak was perfect. I said Dak has always had the tools and things like that, and I believe you have to put him in a system to succeed. Coaching, I always had a problem with. And if you honestly tell me, please, somebody tell me what Scott Linehan has done in his body of work that says he's the guy. Just tell me something, just one good season that he's done something that you can say, he is the guy to develop somebody. And I ask you guys, in the time that Jason Garrett has been here, name me one game that you look back and say, wow, we won that game because of Jason Garrett. I honestly go back and I look at that and I say, well, you can put that there too. You can say that, you can't put it all on Jason Garrett. You have to put it on Jerry Jones for putting him in there. Well, thank you, Joshua. Well, I appreciate you at least clearing up the record because I have been saying, believe me, what we got the last 11 games for Dak is not good enough. But what we got from the last 11 games for the offensive line, it's not good enough. It's not good enough on any level on this team right now. From the ball boy to the coaches to the players, everybody's got to do better than what they're doing. Receivers got to get open. Offensive linemen got to block. Quarterback has to hit receivers, okay, or run the damn ball. And Zeke Elliott, he's got to stay in bounds or not turn over the ball. Or catch the damn ball. If everybody does those little things, and I'm going to say this, hypothetically, let's say we could go back in time and on the 3rd and 5, Zeke Elliott had 25 yards in front of him of grass. He catches that pass. Michael Gallup holds onto the ball and doesn't get the turnover to Earl Thomas. Zeke Elliott doesn't step out of bounds. Instead of us settling for a field goal, we get a touchdown. Zeke Elliott doesn't fumble the ball later on. If we have just those plays together, do you think we honestly lose that game? Do we honestly lose that game? As bad as you guys say Dak is, as bad as the offensive line is, as bad as the receivers, if those plays had happened differently, we would have won. Oh, man, thank you, Edwin. I appreciate that, man. A lot of people say I finally lost it today, man. Well, William Beeman, is that Willie Beeman? You know what? It's true. Cowboy fans are crabs in a barrel. Because you always get the side that's always like the Cowboys suck, they ain't going to win nothing, and no matter who the Cowboys have, they're going to be the worst person in the world. Then you have the other guys that are the defenders. And we fight as much as and talk as much as the damn talking heads like Stephen A. Smith. And that's a fact. Well, you know, Edwin, I just hate seeing what's going on right now. You're right, Jackie. Don't waste my breath. You are 100% right on that one. I just pray that we have a good game this weekend. Man, I am just tired of being beat down by these people. Because what's fun? Here's what's even funnier. When you watch the numbers as I'm live streaming during the game, when the Cowboys do well, the numbers drop down. But as soon as there's a bad play or something goes wrong, boom, the numbers jump up here. And everybody, all this venom, you're an idiot, you're stupid, the Cowboys suck, you know, the season's over. And it's like, damn. And this is from Cowboy fans. And you're right about that. It doesn't matter what we think. It's all the bottom line. It goes back to Jerry Jones. And for Jerry Jones to be thinking that we are the Rams. Okay, Vash Lombardi, you're going to come to FedEx Field and set the records and set me straight? Okay. All right, so I'll bring my pistol then, just in case. Go ahead and unblock Willie Beeman, and we'll see if he acts right.
He's good people.
Because Willie Beeman,
He trolls people.
well, okay, here's the thing. Willie Beeman is an ass.
But he's a good
He talks a lot of smack about Dak Prescott and stuff, but he's actually pretty cool people, okay? So you guys can unblock him, and we'll see how he acts, and if he acts up too much and gets on our nerves, then go ahead and get him. We're censoring the truth. Okay. A brick top, you know what? I ain't waiting until Sunday to go pray for a victory, man. I've been praying every night. Oh, please, football gods, could you just give my Cowboys a win against the Lions so I can have some peace this week? Please. You know, Sal P., here's an interesting theory. I was talking with Manny from Chicago and PJ down in Dallas and stuff. And they're like me, like, what the F is going on? Why is it we're not running Zeke that much? And it looks like we've set Dak up to fail. And their theory is trying to keep them down so they don't have to pay them big money. You start looking at quarterbacks. If Dak had a fantastic season and you see the money that's going out for quarterbacks, including stiffs, you could be talking about a big-ass contract. Is that possible? I don't know. Interesting thought. Because I don't know who out there, you can listen to any of the talking heads. I don't know anybody out there that says that Scott Linehan, besides Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett, thinks Scott Linehan is doing a great job.
Yeah,
Anybody out there that thinks he's doing a great job. And do you honestly think that Kellen Moore is the guy to try and fix Dak's mechanics? And his mechanics are way off. You might be right about us not taking Ridley, that might have been a big piece that would have helped. But on the flip side, Van Der Esch, we kind of needed him too.
They wouldn't even know how to use Ridley. Forget the 4 or 5 touchdowns he had.
Quest, Cowboy 7. Well, here's what we're looking at, though. Now, that's possible. Now, everybody's going to be on the Detroit Lions because they beat New England, but New England is garbage this year. But if you can get a win there, actually, where's my list? Where's my list? Where is my list? I had a list, damn it. All right, so I lost my list. But when you start looking at the games coming up, we've got the Lions, we've got the Texans, we've got the Jaguars, we got the Redskins, and we got the Titans in the next 5 weeks. If we can get a couple of turnovers, and no, I'm not blaming the damn defense. Before anybody says that, I'm not blaming the defense. If we can get a couple of turnovers from the defense, if we can get a little bit better play from the offense and a few less brain farts and mistakes, you can get some victories in there. On the same sense, you got the Redskins, when they come off the bye week, they got to play the Saints. You got the Giants playing the Saints. You got everybody in front of us right now. The next 5 weeks are all have a tougher schedule than what we do right now. That'll give us a chance to hopefully get a couple of wins, get some momentum, get some good feelings to then be able to take on some of the tougher games on there. And let's be honest now, when you look at the schedule, let me pull up the schedule here because I can't remember it right offhand because you guys literally got my brain messed up now. Now, I'm not saying that we're a good team or anything, but you got the Lions, okay? Hypothetically, let's say we can get a win with the Lions, and I'm not trying to look ahead, but after the Lions, you got the Texans. Deshaun Watson, who everybody thought was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, is not doing that great. You got the Jags, that's going to be a tough game at home. And then after that, you've got the Redskins, and then you got the Titans. Forget about Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas, after what happened with us...
Might get a payday.
Thank you, Michael. If we had beat... Here's the thing. Here's the difference of... This is what I had said before.
Earl Thomas wants us to be respected. That's what he said in the after-game interview.
Okay.
That's all he wants.
Well, and to get paid. Let's be honest. And to get paid. Seattle may actually give him a payday now because of getting that win. Because here's the thing that you got to understand, and I said this. If we beat Seattle and they're 0-3, then the onus on them is to say, okay, we got to build for next year. But because they got that victory, all of a sudden they start saying, you know what? Beat the Cowboys. Maybe the season's not lost after all. So you look at the season differently. Now, if they lose another game or two, you might see them say, okay, we're 1-4. It's time to give up on the season. So right now, Earl Thomas, unless he's going to be able to play center or wide receiver, he's not going to help us that much. Although if he could get some turnovers, that would help. No, I'm not giving up a first-round pick because, Aaron, you got all those guys out there that say we need to package up first-round picks to move up in the draft to get a quarterback. I drink a cup and roll one for every Cowboys game, so I won't be mad. Damn, that's pretty bad. Romo for offensive coordinator. I would take a ham sandwich right now for offensive coordinator. Yes, I miss Willie Beeman. You know, Willie was always there first thing, every video and stuff. So, yeah. You know, and he's almost like therapy because he's a motivator because you want the team to do better. You are willing the team to victory just so you don't have to listen to Steamin' Willie Beeman. And maybe that's what's been missing. Our karma has been messed up because Willie Beeman has been blocked.
Hey, he come on to my page at 10:30.
Yeah, Michael will be on at 10:30. Steven, he said he's not blocked on his page.
Well, no, he's a moderator.
Stephen Willie Beeman's a moderator on it? Wow. Okay. All right, so Stephen Willie Beeman is actually a moderator on Michael Anthony Fitness's channel. Go figure. Okay. Well, guys, it is 10:15. I've got my blood pressure up, and we're not doing anything productive here. We got one day, 14 hours, 45 minutes, and 28 seconds to get ourselves together. Let's pray that our Cowboys get their stuff together and have a good game. I've got some work I got to do because I got to figure out what the hell went wrong, because whenever the phone would ring, it was just like, boo, 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 boo. It was like, and it wouldn't answer. So I've got to do some more work here. You know I'm technology challenged, but I'll get it straightened out. But I want to thank everybody for being here, part of the Jobu Sports Report. My thoughts and prayers to my buddy Kenny. Kenny, even though he's was a Texans fan, ended up being in an accident, golf cart accident last week. If you guys were part of the draft trip or saw some of the videos and things, he was there cooking a lot with Cowboys Crunk and things. Really nice guy, man. Enjoyed talking with him and things. And unfortunately, he was out on a golf cart and fell off and hit his head and went to coma and never came back. So what I want you guys to understand is that life is short and life is precious. So don't waste your time on trivial stuff. In the end, if the Cowboys win or lose, is it really going to affect your life that much? No, actually it is. Shit. Who am I kidding? Fuck. Cowboys lose, it kills me. I think a little piece of me dies inside. But I want you guys to make sure that you enjoy yourself, because tomorrow is never promised to any of us. I don't know, Vlad, I don't know exactly how, but, you know, I lost a good friend of mine in college, a guy who probably could have been a pro football player. Doug West, a guy was, as a freshman, East Coast heavyweight wrestling champion. Doug was so good at nose guard. First 3 games of our sophomore season, he put out the quarterback. The first 3 games, he put out 3 quarterbacks. But unfortunately, coming back from practice, he fell off the back of a pickup truck. Stood up, truck took off, fell over, hit his head, and that was all she wrote. So understand, life is precious. So make sure you make the most of each and every day, because freaky things happen. And I want to see all you guys here tomorrow. I'm Mark Holmes with Cowboy Jobu. Apologize for the sound issues. I swear, I did a test run beforehand and everything sounded good. Don't know what happened. I guess it was Jerry Jones, because it's no, not Cowboys Crunk. His best friend is, who came with us on the draft trip. Cowboys Crunk is fine. The Texans fan. So